located on the planet right now?
I am in France,
Okay.
and I am soon having a concert, and I'm having a coffee on the balcony of my hotel. So I'm in Annecy, and that is the lake, and so.
Excellent. Excellent. Again, I've always been so enamored with your infectious zeal and love for jazz. So I'm looking forward to getting into it. And I want to begin our conversation with, we did talk during the pandemic, but now that we're out of it, how did you ultimately get through that time period, and how did it influence this new big band album?
So the big band album was a thing I was planning already before the pandemic. But then came the pandemic, and I had the time of my life because I started we were not allowed to leave the house. So I started a band with the people in my house. Actually, they had never heard jazz before because they came from other parts outside America. And, they were young teenagers and so. And we started with Beale Street Blues, Basin Street Blues, Bourbon Street Parade, and all this music. And we played. Schools were shut down, so but we played together. We were just sitting and playing every day, and we were streaming live. So the pandemic was a wonderful time for me.
So talk to me a little bit more about this album. Like, now that it's out, I mean, the artwork's wonderful. You can just feel the love that you have. What a great title, Jazz is My Life. Just talk to me about how you went through and constructed the songs and the overall vibe of this album.
So jazz is my lifestyle. It's technically just I'm every song is an original song, and I write so many original songs, and everything is in swing style. I'm very influenced by Armstrong and Billie Holiday, Count Basie, Big Spiderbeck as well, uh, and Duke Ellington, like this 1930s, 1940s, and also all kinds of jazz, but mainly swing. So big band is a fantastic way to express myself because I have the swing, but as for example, in Ellington Orchestra, I have like very much inspiration that there is freedom for like old style blues, like Johnny Hodges and so it's the freedom in big band that I love. So I mix a lot. And when it comes to Jazz is My Lifestyle, which is the title of the album, so it's like my house looks like a jazz club, and everyone in my family is playing jazz. And now when I walk together with my two kids, one is dressed up like a super sweetheart from the 1920s. That's my daughter. And then comes my son with a banjo in his hand, two-tone shoes, and so my whole family plays jazz. All my friends are jazz musicians, and also I love the fashion from the 1920s. So you see, I have Victory Rolls in my
Oh
hand
yeah.
today.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it was called Victory Rolls back then, but this typical 19, I think it's from the 40s. And, flappers and fringes and all this fashion. I love it. I love the vintage cars and this whole 1920s aesthetics. I go inside. I was on the
Yeah.
balcony, but there is you hear there is like a lot of noise.
Sure. So the one thing I'm curious about, we kind of talked about this the last time we spoke. I was hoping there would be a revival of people getting into jazz during the pandemic. They would realize that this American or this unique art form was going to really be something they would crave it. And on this album, it feels like that's what you've done. What are you hoping the listener gets from this album?
Energy, happiness. When I listen to it, when I cook and I listen to the full album, like a background, I can hear the energy and feel the energy. I make pretend it's somebody else's album. So, I try to compare it to others. There's a lot of energy, a lot of solo. It's like a boiling it's like a gumbo. Yeah.
Yeah, it certainly is. So I'm curious too, you know, everybody kind of took a hit. People in big cities were leaving because it was expensive during the pandemic. Students weren't sure if they were going to go to school, but it seems like jazz is stronger than ever right now. You're traveling the world. What's your sense as the strength of jazz right now in 2024?
Uh, I'm wrong person to ask because if you ask me, jazz is the best music in the whole history of the world. Like, there's never invented anything so delicate and so both high and low level in a mix. Like, I mean, it's like fantastic. It's just fantastic, and. Also, I think so. If you ask me, these songs that we call the Great American Songbook, but to me, it's a very big songbook because it's all those, hymns and all these New Orleans songs and, everything, not the typical that people call the Great American Songbook with like blue skies and all this. But all in all together, I, it's the best thing for me. Is these songs, they are eternal. And then there is something fantastic with jazz because it's an acoustic music. And nowadays people are complaining on, oh, they have tinnitus and you cannot play too loud. But this is loud enough because it's trumpets. We can play acoustic. And and it's a living music. It's like a gives energy. It's still a popular music, although it's old. It's aged, but still going strong.
Yeah.
So it's a popular music, I would say.
What do the live crowds feel like? We kind of touched on the fact that there was this absence of being able to perform it live. Now that we're back, what's it feel like? What do the crowds feel like for you?
It's I don't know. I love the audience in America. They are fantastic because they love music a lot and they are very much they like to go out and listen to music and so. I feel that people are born anew and they want to go out and have fun and so.
They're ready to go. So, what are you doing for live shows? What's going on with the live shows, the tour? What are you doing these days?
So now I'm in France, and then I go and I play at the festival, and then I go back to Sweden, then I go back to, and then I go to Kosovo, back to America after that, and I do like a tour now because I have this album that came out, and now I'm going on a tour. So I play all over America in the Midwest and on the East Coast, the West Coast, and back to Midwest and then the East Coast and the West. It's like this.
So it sounds like the question that I asked you before about the strength of jazz, you're all over the place. People are eating this up. It seems like it's strong as ever.
Yeah, I would say that we always have a battle that we have to w- I mean, I have like a daily battle because I play, but I need to melt the listener's heart. So nothing is for granted. I must be inspired because if I am inspired, I can include the listener in my inspiration. So there is no formula that works every time. But if you have a good melody, and if you have a good ensemble that were like, so the instrument sounds good together and you have a good chemistry in the band. And I often feel like, oh, that you really like your audience and like to play for people. Then that's three good thing to start with.
Yeah.
A good
Well,
melody.
absolutely. Well, and that's the one thing about the absence of live music. I know when it kicked back in, there's something about being in the room and sharing that energy, sharing that love. There's just this explosion of good energy that you can't get from a recording. You have to be in the room. There has to be that improv moment of sharing the love of this music.
Oh, I think it's more needed than ever because now when I go into stores, I hear AI music is taking over more and more because now I recognize it. I recognize when they took like the voice of Frank Sinatra and put over and I clearly hear it. So, music is in a very interesting development. I cannot even say what it is, but I stand where I always stood and I play these melodies, and it's live. So, it can, as long as we musicians are alive, the music will live.
Yeah. So I got to tell you, when I was a kid, my big thing was to reach out to baseball players and get autographs in the mail. So when I saw the package come through and I saw the CD and it was autographed, my heart leaped. I loved it.
Thank you so much.
I got it on
Yeah,
my desk in a prominent place.
yeah, but here is the thing. There's another thing. It's so easy to just print out something and if you have the money, send out 100,000 mails or letters or anything. But what costs, it's people's time. So, and love, like that you took care of something. So it's more worth than anything to have something that has an autograph or a personal greeting. It's, those old values that you think like you don't need, but you need them more than ever.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
because, yeah.
So what about the artwork? Where did the artwork come from? Because that's the other feeling of this. When you see the artwork on the front and you open it up, it just fills you with color and there's movement.
Yeah, so when I have a lot of dead time when I'm flying and I'm traveling, so I paint my the cover arts, and I have been doing that for 10 years painting. So I haven't painted all my life, but I in art also I feel that I I need to paint my life because there happen so unbelievable things all the time. And also my family, I like, of course, the jazz aesthetics. And I like very strong colors. So I try to find like colors that like really, match and pop and so. And then I try to put together exact the music that I'm playing in art. And jazz is also a style of an art style.
Yeah.
So
So how do you maintain this creative exuberance you have? You're painting, you're a multi-instrumentalist, you take command of the stage, you're just spreading this love of the music. How do you maintain this every day?
uh, okay, here is my medicine for everything. Also have fun. So you must do what you think is like makes you happy, and then with that make other people happy, because then you have something else than just. So if I have a lot of fun, fun with playing the trumpet, like, or inspired. So that is everything, because that is quality time. And then if it leads to something, it's bigger than myself.
Yeah.
If it's inspiration time, so I try to be inspired with everything I do, and I also have so much joy with my platforms like YouTube, Facebook, all this, because then I communicate with my listeners and they become my friends actually. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So the new album Jazz is My Lifestyle, which is so apt for who you are and how you roll. If anyone wants to pick that up, they want to see you live, where's the best place to go to find all this?
You can order it on a special homepage where I sell my CDs called carlingjazz.com. Carling Jazz. I have all my albums, and I have like painted different one where I play with my family, this big band, and then my daughter has one where I play and she sings, and it's more like soft swing, more sophisticated. And then I have a lot of albums there, but this is my latest,
Yeah.
and I'm very happy for it. And you know what? I have great guests. I have Scotty Barnard from the Count Basie Orchestra playing solo,
Yeah.
and I have Chloe Fioranzo. And in this song, "Jazz is My Lifestyle," my family also plays, because I say that my band is my family, and so
Yeah. Wonderful. I love the album. I've had it stuck in my CD chamber, driving around Kansas City, loving it. It's so great to catch back up with you. Thank you for taking a minute out today. Have a great show and have a wonderful tour. I appreciate it.
Yes. Are you in Kansas City?
Yes,
I have to come to you and play.
I would love it. I would absolutely love it. Please do.
Yes, let's do it.
All right,
I
cool.
see you.
Take care.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.